I
I
think
don't
I've
really
seen
know.
like
I've worked with a lot of people. I know that.
yeah. Cause like TikTok and everything is huge now.
Yeah, like we just collab for fun. So
Yeah. All right. So what is your name and where are you from?
I am Jelani Mizrahi, also known as Jelani Stewart. I'm from New York.
Oh, you from right here in New York?
Yes, Manhattan, Harlem. Well, the difference between Manhattan and the other part, Manhattan is definitely much more busy and it's way more expensive, but
Yeah.
all the diversities are the same in a certain way. You know, in Brooklyn, you have like more of an urban brown house area. In Manhattan, there's a lot of high rises. In Harlem, it's a mix between, a little gentrified though. The Bronx is very Hispanic, very Hispanic cultures. That's about it. But Manhattan is all inclusive. You got Chinatown, you got Manhattan, you got Chelsea, you got the Piers, you got so much. Harlem's a part of Manhattan too. So,
Do you know any New Yorkers who have left and where have they gone?
no, not really. New Yorkers don't really move out of town like that.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people that moved to Atlanta, but that's about it.
Channel?
My channel on YouTube, basically, it's just about, well, one, I do skincare. So, like, things that little, like, help, like, the remedies in your skin, like, especially when you have, like, razor bumps, stuff like that, like, things to get rid of, just the little remedies to get rid of that. And also, like, I do adventures and collaborations with other major brands on, like, how to content create, such as, like, you know, Hotel Tonight. Which one I did one? I did one with Lumis Skincare, Shea Moisture, so on and so forth. And a lot of also like controversial events that I go to. I forget. What event is it that I went to? Oh, like with the gigs that I do, because I do photo shoots, I model, I do runway, and I do like TV basically. So I just like film out behind the scenes part of that.
So you said you were on a reality show. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yes,
that?
the reality show I was on was called My House on Viceland. You could catch it. It's right in Netflix and on Hulu. And is it on HBO Max? Not yet. It's on Viceland and Hulu. It's on YouTube now too, though. So
How did they find you, if you don't mind me asking?
they find me. I was dancing in the underground scene in New York since I was younger. So I was voguing when I was very, very young, like around 9 or 12, and this was before the internet really boomed. You know, when the internet was in the 90s, it was just dial up and that's all they had. People started coming to record us. So when the internet came and boomed, the stuff that we were doing went viral and then it created its own reaction. It's like the hip hop of this generation.
So are you an actor or no?
I am an actor. Technically, I've acted, but I have never taken an acting class, if you get what I mean. But I have gotten a gig.
Okay, what kind of advice you got for other people who want to become actors?
Who don't want to do what?
Who also want to become actors?
The advice that I have is stick hard to it, and if you want to be an actor, just practice the craft. The rest should come naturally, because real acting isn't acting. If you have trauma in you and you have a story to tell, the acting is going to come out. It'll just flow. And be wary of politics, because people are unaware that when you're in Hollywood and when you're certain things, just how much politics may affect your job. There are no late roles, only late stars. You can have a supporting role and you can still be the main character in a supporting role, just from how you present yourself.
What do you mean by politics? You got to take sides with somebody?
No, politics in general. When I say politics, I don't mean like the sides of politics. I mean politics with us as a human race, how people see you versus who you are. That type of politics, you know?
Okay,
Your
now,
image, your status, on how your archetype affects the world around you.
all right, now, do you think it's easier to be a man or a woman?
Both each have their different adversities. I don't think either is easy, honestly, because I've seen, funny, me being in the background that I have, I've seen people both be a man and be a woman, and none was easy for them in the same lifetime. So men have their adversities with things because we're always taught to naturally provide. Women have to constantly live life on the defense. So both can be hard. We have our advantages depending on how society is going, you know. But you know, it's all up to society at the time when it's easier, honestly.
Okay, you said you're an actor. Can you do any impersonations?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Now,
I
can you do the stereotypical New York accent?
I'm doing it right now.
That's it right now?
Yeah, this is the stereotypical, because everybody be like, oh, you from New York. Like,
Okay.
that's how we're supposed to say things.
Okay. So when you go to other states, they can spot you?
Yes.
Now, you come to this park often?
Sometimes, like after school, because it's a school over here, I come for this park.
What is the strangest thing you've ever heard or seen here in this park?
The strangest thing I ever heard? Well, I'm kind of old. Nothing strange doesn't go on in this park anymore. Not
Yeah.
anymore. No.
All right, now how do you know somebody's crazy?
You don't. That's the thing. Because all human beings, to a degree, we have a layer of craziness to us. It's just some, like, you know, there's good craziness and there's bad crazy. You got people who are always in their craft and people will consider that as a sense of crazy. And you got people who act perfectly sane and they be a fucking lunatic, you know? They just carry themselves really well. So I would say, you shouldn't be looking if they're crazy. You should be looking if they're harmful towards you.
Yeah, but how do you know if someone's harmful towards you?
Pay attention to social cues. Body language is very important. Look at what's in a person's eyes and how they present themselves. Sometimes a person's eyes gave it to you, so like if a person's eyes is shaky or what they're paying attention to, it's a sign. Their body language, like as far as pay close attention to how people treat other people. How a man talks to a woman is very important because that'll tell you everything about that man. How that man treats other people is very important. Because if you really want to test somebody, give them power over people. Test a person that, how you say, see how they treat somebody that can't do nothing for them, and that'll tell you everything about them.
What can
Right?
you tell me about surviving in New York?
Survive in New York, get your hustle strong. If you want to survive in New York, the hard thing is you can start at the bottom and make it, but you have to realize the strengths of New York. New York rent is very expensive, but you can make the money here if you know how to monetize it here. The thing is, it's not hard to monetize stuff here because in New York, everything has a lot of traffic. So you have to figure out the best thing is to find your niche in New York to create a business here that you can get a strong following in. That's the best strength of you. When you other states, it's easy to support yourself, but you won't necessarily get to that $1 million mark. You want to get to that million mark, you got to work harder than everybody else. You got to figure out New York's marketing niche at the time because we always have trends. When the trends comes, it hit here in New York first. So when that trend hit, you get that trend, you jump on it, whether it's from the stock market, whether it's financial, or whether you just have your own little private business that people are interested in. Once you get that snowball effect in New York, there's no stopping you. Not everybody gonna want to know your name, you know? That's with anything. Even if it's in your own little private sector, even if you have your own little club, you might not be famous, but if you're making $5,000 a month off of only 5,000 people that know you, you still making more than a lot of people. You could potentially make that million, you know? So don't let the hype fool you. Stay in your own lane and in your private business and your making.
What about surviving the streets? You have anybody try to start fights with you out there?
You got to be prepared. New York is fairly safe because we have cameras everywhere. Now, all the time when I was younger, I did used to be attacked, but punch him in the face first. It's no shade.
Strike first.
Like if he's really is a problem, because you got people who just want to start trouble for the sake of starting trouble. Do what you got to do, because he might not. You might need to. If it's just a regular altercation, you can walk away. I say the first thing, if you can walk away, because New York is fairly safe. He attack you, that's your money. He can't do nothing to you. But if he's chasing you down, punch him right, fight him. Fight him, it's no shade. But New York is not on that rude shit, you know? Like, we rule, but we not rule. We rule because we got to go to work, not because we want to fight.
So where were you coming from before you came to this park?
I was just coming from a gig with GMAC. I did a photo shoot and a videography with, I guess it's like a little mini interview on my past experience on how I grew up as a kid in New York. That was it.
Where are you going once you leave this park?
I'm going back to my hotel.
Oh, you stayed at a hotel?
Right now on 42nd Street. No, I'm just staying temporarily because it was near my gig. So
okay.
I was like, I might as well stay there, and then I just go right back down the block to it, and then I check out in the morning and go back home.
Okay, now, if you had a trust fund, would you still work?
Yes. I would still work. I would still put back in the economy. I would still present a business, you know?
Yeah. If you weren't in New York, where would you be?
I would be Seattle, Los Angeles, Atlanta, Georgia, or what place out? New Orleans. New Orleans is so friendly and dope. Oh, I was just in New Orleans. The drinks is fine, everything's fine, the French Quarters is fine. I gotta get a house out there.
Why Seattle, though? That's an answer that doesn't come up.
Seattle has superheroes. Y'all knew that? They have their own superhero committee. It's very cloudy. The real estate's good. The money's good in there. It's not hard to live. I mean, it's a cloudy little city, but they have their own things to do too. It's kind of like New York, but a little bit more laid back.
You don't mind the rain?
I love the rain. You have to go to a state where there's no rain, like Vegas, to really appreciate the rain, you know?
Oh, you was in Vegas?
I was in Vegas.
Oh.
I don't like Vegas. They tried to kidnap me twice.
Oh, what happened with that?
Like they tried to slip drugs in my drink, but they didn't know because I know I'm from the streets. I'm from New York. You be hard pressed to kidnap one of us.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm not coming back to the state no more. And the first time, the guys, this is how you know these guys is kidnapped. It's the legendary white van. Anybody who's a girl, anything or a hoe, something they'll tell you about. There was this van that came up. And you could see like the little change from the back, you know, the two little windows in the shadows and stuff like that. And I was with my friends, they said, because just so you know I wasn't lying, we had stood behind the truck, so we tore. So we like over the trucks like this. And we was like, what the fuck is he doing out here? Why is he out here in the middle of nowhere? And he stopped and he drove by real slow and he was looking at us. Then he parked and he left. That was the first time we was like, no, we can't come back here.
What do you think they would have done with you once you kidnapped you?
There's a lot they do in Vegas. They could probably take your organs, your kidneys, sell it. Like, people go missing in Vegas all the time. They don't report it enough, but ask anybody who lives in Vegas, people go missing in Vegas a lot. That's always the state to go missing. And you gotta realize, like, after you leave that city, on the outskirts, it's not too much land. It's the desert, so anybody could be in one of them little huts and they could easily, by the next thing you know, Vegas is by that border. So once you going, you going. No shade. That's Nevada, bitch.
No, so what are some good places to film videos like this in New York?
Washington Square Park, the pier, Harlem, the Cloisters, because the Cloisters got that underground, very scenic, very Roman Empire-esque photograph. I say the Joker steps now in the Bronx. All of Harlem. The Seaport on the Lower East Side. You want to go there. The Seaport on the Lower East Side. What else? Seaport. Times Square, of course. There are tons of studios, Pier Space. I shouldn't have did that there. Give them an endorsement. Rise and shine, Jelani Time. That's about it. All that I can think of off the top of the head.
You don't think people would be defensive though?
About what?
About being filmed. Because a lot of people here, they don't want to be filmed.
I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of places. You mean to go film people, go ask for people?
Yeah.
Go to to go find people. Go to the dancing studios like Ripley Greer Studios, Brooklyn Zoo. Write that down if you get the Brooklyn Zoo, the flip thing, because they love to showcase their talent all the time. They're always looking for new recorders and photographers. Basically any talent harbor in place, like where people with great minds get together to make talent, and you'll be there a part of that history because they want that history in it. It's always places like that. The Hedrick Martin Institute, NYU too, sometimes they do collaborative projects with people who do cameras. That's about it. But like any dance studio, the Ripley Greer, Perry Dance Studio, a couple of the dance studios up in Harlem, a music studio, any place where they make history, bars, definitely all the bars. All the bars love for people to come and film their place. That's the thing. Filmography, what do you call it? Filmography or photography? Yeah. That's the things that people that, love to make history love in New York all the time, because that's how we do things. People are like, oh, remember that day you was here and this photography of such and such started to record? That's a place to go film all the time. Any club, any nighttime club that's very camp. They love the photography.
That's still happening now?
Yeah, well not now, but it's gonna pick back up. But before that, any campy nighttime club, they always welcome photographers here. Like, hey, can I record? Yeah, sure. Oh, tag me, exchange back and forth, stuff like that.
You a dancer too?
Yes, I am.
What advice do you have for guys who want to get with dancers?
For get with dancers or get into dancing?
Get with dancers.
Get with the dancers.
Yeah, get with the dancers.
I don't know. I guess if you find out he's a dancer, you just find out he's a dancer, and
Yeah. Oh no, what were you doing during the lockdown?
Huh?
What were you doing during the lockdown?
I was staying inside and staying safe. And I was probably doing online gigs and stuff like
recording. Were you working out or anything?
Of course. I work out. I take my they got the because I hate the fucking the creatine. Like when you put it in the powder, I'll be throwing it up. So they gave me the pills. It's the same thing, but they put it in the pills and I started taking that. That's it.
All right, now what kind of questions would you ask if you were doing interviews?
Where you from? What's your name? What's your background? What is your views? How do you see the world? You know, what brings you here to New York? Because, you know, we have a lot of tourists too. What's your favorite food? What is your life about? What work are you into? What is your love interest? What are your philosophical goals? This, that, and the third. Nothing too nosy with things that, you know, humanize people and stuff like that. Because people want to be nosy during interviews or something. Not true, but I'm general people. When I do interviews, it's usually mainly this is the only interview I have. When they called me on the Guild series, because I knew they was gonna ask questions, and I didn't want to be on camera with other people, I didn't go to the interview. It's like, oh hell no, I'm not going.
All right. So, what is your most successful content?
My successful
Content.
successful. They're all successful.
Like any videos you make, any of them more successful than others?
I'm doing more, so I can't even say what is the most successful because they all capped like a lot of views, you know. And after a while, it just keeps going, and you put it out there, you be like, huh. You know, I don't care because I do things for the fun of it. I don't do it for the content or the successfulness. But there's a lot of it. There's one. I just deleted my Instagram. I'm starting over. I'm sorry. This one, I did this Vogan video. It reached like 100K views. 2K is probably still growing. That's the last time I counted it. That was on TikTok.
What was that video about?
It was just I did that just recently, as a matter of fact.
What was the subject?
What was the subtext? You know the song. Who was singing it?
So it was like
B. C. The song from Sesame Street. What's the name? Patti LaBelle was singing, and they made a remix to it. So I vogued to it.
So it was like
A little
music
bit,
video.
and I was like, New York Voguers be like, because we have a certain type of Vogue. It's very hip hoppy, and you know we're constantly exchanging knowledge with other break dancers and gymnasts. So we have a certain Vogue. That was the subtext. Like,
Oh, you're a breakdancer too?
I can do breakdancing moves. I wouldn't consider me a breakdancer. You know, like it's its own culture now. So I guess I have voguing with breakdancing influence, shall I say?
What kind of positive responses are you getting from your audience?
A lot. Keep doing what you're doing. Make sure you go into real estate. They always giving me financial advice all the time. Clean my room, because sometimes I do a TikTok and my room won't be right. Travel more. And just, you know, keep doing what I'm doing. That's it.
All right, now, if you have 3 wishes, what would they be?
If I had 3 wishes, I guess world peace sounds kind of cliche, but it would be world peace. No more prejudice. I'm tired. You know, after a while, you get tired of fighting. And for my last wish, for my mother to be happy or somebody like that. You know, for my family to be happy, and so us can come to an understanding where we understand each other. You know,
Yeah. What kind of
racism. So many. I had struggles living in New York. I had struggles with systematic racism against other people. Because not even towards, everybody can be racist towards each other in a way. Even white people are racist towards other white people. In a generation, because that's only something here in America. You understand? When you go to other countries, they're not gonna call you. It starts from the beginning. Like they're not gonna call you a Chinese American, African American, a Black American, a German American, and stuff like that. Your name would be. Let's say my name is Jelani. I would be Jelani from my family bloodline of this tribe from this type of land. That's how they name people. Do I have any special talents? I can Vogue. I can computer program in Java. I read body language very well, so I'm a good judge of character. I could do a backflip. That's it. It's cold right now. It's cold. But I can still do it.
How did you come to be so talented?
I grew up around talent. I was lucky. So you kind of, as a kid, that's why it's important. You know, when you're a kid, we naturally copy stuff a lot. We copy everything we see. That's how I got to be talented. You know?
So who were some of your role models?
My role models were my mother, Laomi Mizrahi, Deshawnee Visu, Jack Mizrahi, Trace Lissette, Amaya Scott, Angelina Jolie, of course.
Why?
Angelina Jolie was she's a Gemini also, and she was a terrific actor. She was always the go-to actress, like box office after box office after box office. Marilyn Monroe, I only say because Little tricks, there's no business like show business. If you want to master show business and all the little tricks to not never be a side character, even when they try to cast you as a side character, that's a person to look at. Barack Obama, a lot of role models. That's the ones I can name off the top of the head though.
Okay, now, what kind of videos do you watch?
Videos like content videos,
Yeah.
like I watch a lot of anime, especially ones that deal with politics and international affairs, like Full Metal Alchemist, Black Lagoon, all the other ones. I can name more. What's that? A comic got killed because that was more. What's that? Patriarchy. When they have kingdoms, they was talking about that type of politics. I forgot what it's called. Monarchy? It's called Monarchy, right? Okay. I watch a lot of documentaries on world history. You know, things about like the Soviet Union, the dictators in Romania, American history, real American history, not the American history, because the American history I'm learning from videos, and the ones they teaching me in school is two different things, and it turns out to be the truth. Like, I haven't read Australian history, but European history yet. African history, but although history in Africa is hard to find in America, that's about it though. Documentaries on computer programming, on like how to build little projects and stuff like that. You know, me being on TV made me want to change the way I live my life. And I think if I was into politics before, I'm more into politics now. Before, at least how I affect the world around me. That made me want to change my life. My mom made me want to change my life. What else? It was another thing. Just watching myself grow in the system in general, you know, things like that.
All right, now how important is ancestry to you?
Ancestry is very important. It's important for us to know where we come from and the knowledge that our ancestors left us all the time. Like, there's too many times that people have sat there and deleted their. You always hear about a person's getting rid of a person's ancestral information to like break you down or you know, like pull you apart or something like that, so you don't know what to do in life. When the whole reason, like, what do you do? Like, your parents did certain shit for you to be here. Their parents did that, and their parents and their parents, and so on and so on and so forth. And you have years worth of knowledge to accumulate, so we'll be able to learn from our mistakes, so we won't do the same things over and over. That's the whole point of having ancestors and humans that came before you. It's very important to know that and where you come from. Because that's, if you know history, what's the saying? A fool learns off of experience and a wise man learns off history. We need our ancestors for our history to learn from them and where they went wrong. But they don't want to let us know that.
How far back can you trace your ancestry?
Let me see. I can't trace it back far because I'm a half-breed. I am mixed up. So I have a little Caucasian in me, and I have a lot of Native American in me because my mother's like Native American, you know, and my father was black. So I can trace some of it back to me originally being from America and probably in my African days on my African side. I'm not sure. I only can trace it back to the third or second generation. So I can't trace it back too far. There's no identity there. Yeah. Native Americans, see, they left their histories written in stone, so you can't do nothing. Yeah. I can find out who I am Native American-wise. See it in my nose and my body and stuff. Even my red Cherokee birthmark on my arm. Like, you know, they have very distinctive features. But on my African side, I really can't, you know.
I had a
okay, I said my Caucasian side is really clear, but...
Could you speak any foreign languages?
I can speak a little bit of Spanish, no foreign languages yet.
Okay.
¿Cómo estás? Habla español un poquito.
All right. What kind of dating advice do you have for the folks out there?
Dating advice? I mean, if you want to date, just date. But I would say that one you love, you know the connection when you see it. Your eyes dilate. It's a human thing. You can't, especially in New York, you can't fake true connection. Even if you do like the person, or even if they're, you know, don't marry, don't talk to a person for the things that they have or do or how they look. Talk to them for how you connect to them, how y'all connect, how y'all click, because you can't fake that human energy. It's never going to work if you marry somebody with materialistic things. Tried it, been there, done that. If that was the case, I'd have been married to a rich nigga. Still didn't like him. Can't even talk to the waitress politely. How we gonna click? You feel me?
All right, what are your thoughts on the dating apps?
On the dating apps, they're cool, they work, but it took away a large part of technology's taken a large part of humanity away, shall I say.
All right, Nate, are you finished?
Oh, that's it.
Nature versus nurture. What's more important?
Both have huge roles. Like, I have a pretty good experience in this because my aunt's boyfriend, he was a natural psychopath to a degree, and I seen him have kids, and I kid you, no lie, his kids came out with these scary ass characteristic traits versus nature. Now, nurture can help, but it's to a degree. You know, like, because we literally make our own DNA. You can do something and you start doing that, and then your kid might have the characteristics you had, traits that you have. At that age, you were acting like that, you know, versus when you had them when you was younger. So it's very iffy and timing. Nature is always a fluctuation.
What do you think?
Thing.
Have you seen that movie, Trading Places, with Eddie Murphy?
Yeah,
What do you think about that? Because they switched the two guys around.
they did. Oh, you mean when one was rich and one was?
Yeah. Because basically, what they're trying to say is, if I put this black bum in a rich, white, privileged environment, he's going to become privileged and successful too. And you throw the white guy into the whatever.
But that was more black and white. They, like I would say, as far as environment, is financially class. That was dealing with class more than dealing with nature and nurture. If you were born into a certain class system or you have the connections in that class system, more than likely you're gonna stay there. So that's what I think about class, as far as that applies. Like, if you're around money, you're gonna make money, and the way people make money is just a formula. Once you figure out the formula of the secrets that they hide away, then anybody can do it,
So where do you think Jeff Bezos would be if we threw him in a third world country and raised him there in a village?
I think he's going to make the people work for him, and the cycle of capitalism is going to start all over there too.
So he's just going to exploit the people around him?
Particularly, human nature is partly parasitic, so it happens, Like, he'll find a way. If he can figure out the system there, and it's something that can be monetized there, he'll do it. If not, maybe not, but I say he has a pretty good chance of his surviving. The man's not dumb. He didn't come from super rich people, did he?
He came from rich people.
If he didn't know anything at all, I mean, he was just a fresh human, and you put him in the ghetto as
raised him there.
Oh, if you raised him there and he didn't know anything, oh, he would have been poor. Yeah, he wouldn't have had anything. I would say if he still had the knowledge, like if he was Jeff Bezos, and you just made him broke right now.
No. Raised from
raised from birth? No, he'd have been poor.
Yeah.
He'd have been poor. Nobody had told him anything.
Yeah. Because, like a lot of, education is kind of limited to rich people in the first place, right?
Yes.
You look at NYU, right? $50K a year. Columbia, $60K a year. Who's going to have that kind of money other than rich people? All right, tattoos. Have you got any?
Nope, not one.
What's your biggest accomplishment in life?
What's my biggest accomplishment?
Yeah.
Being myself and setting a good example for the next generation after me.
Go ahead.
So they'll have something to know and look for and know this is what you do and this is what you don't do.
What is the nicest thing anyone's done for you?
People have done a lot of nice things for me. I can't even say that. Like, I've been throwing a lot of good energy in the universe. Like, people have helped me towards housing, like when I was in New York and stuff like that. I first was growing up. This guy helped me get into this program that really helped me with supportive housing, and that really saved me a life for a lot of things. Like, I don't have to put out money like that. Like, or NYC Housing Connect, it was information. People always swipe me on the train on a daily basis. The Hedrick Martin Institute helped me a lot with my education when I was younger. My aunt used to help me a lot when I was little, like when I didn't have no sneakers. She used to put sneakers on my feet, and she didn't want me looking like no bum. Speaking of which. People always trying to teach me different languages. Like, when people try to teach you their culture, that's love right there. Like, try to really educate you from the base up. It's a lot of nice things. I can't even count on my hand.
I like this answer. All right, now, what do you want to name this video? What title do you want to give it?
I'm going to name this video Jelani Time interview, #. Their body language
I mean, how
Because a
long does it
person
take?
can be whack. It's not
Yeah.
about, for me, it's not about being whack. You could be boring, and I'm an exciting person. So for me, the energy will instantly shift with me. Like, okay, you're bored, and I have upper energy. You're quickly become unbored. So, whack, I don't know. Like, I
What
like
if
boring
someone's
people.
like really shallow or really?
Oh, if they're really shallow, I'll go away immediately.
Yeah.
Shallow people.
How
never
long would it
work.
take though for you to figure out that this person doesn't vibe
The
with you?
first sentence, like 2 minutes when they've been talking about themselves too long.
So 2 minutes you'll know.
Yeah.
And what do you just walk away?
No, I'd be like,
You listen to
excuse me, I have something to do. You know, you have a nice, very polite, like, all right. What we do is the thing New Yorkers do. Have a good day. Good night. God bless. All that, you know, very much like, there's no reason to be rude. It's how you do it.
All right, now, did you want to plug any more of your social media? You got Instagram, you said?
Yeah, my Instagram is Jelani Time, JELANITIME_. YouTube Jelani Time. My Twitter Jelani Time, JLANI. What else? Do I have any other social media? That's it, really.
What can we expect to see on your social media platform?
My social media platforms, I'm about to do a lot more music videos and presentations and featuring like a lot of just different diverse stuff, but you know, mostly on the same niche. I have an interest for K-pop now. I think I'm gonna do K-pop inspired music because I like that they sing, dance, rap, and sing, dance, rap is another one. What's the other one? And do the music video and videography, which is 24 cuts and 24 frames. You know how hard that is too? So they do the whole thing. So like every thing is like 24 different scenes in one music video. You understand? In 4 minutes, that's a lot of filming. So I'm gonna
So
do
you're
that.
gonna do that too?
Yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna find the
You're
right
an
video.
editor too?
No, I'm gonna find the editor. I can edit, but I can't edit to that degree. I ain't on that scale yet. But I'm gonna find the editor that wants to do that. But I can sing, dance, and rap. And I look good, so they're gonna pay attention and do the whole part. And then advertise it, you know?
Yeah.
Like spread cultural diversity. And speaking in they songs be in different languages all the time. Like that's beautiful for advertising because not only do they're first of all they do the first song in Chinese, then they do it in Japanese, and then they do it in Russian, and then they advertise it to the Russians, Japanese, and the Chinese for international market. That's fab. I mean, I only can speak 2 languages, English and Spanish, but it's a start. I'll learn like Japanese later on. I can learn Japanese. Russian is hard. I'm not doing Russian. You good? I'm not on Russian. Not no time soon anyway. But that's what I want to do. I want to do more music videos, video showcase presentations, putting like collaborating with little guys and little brands on the map and stuff like that to like, you know, bring different equity to the community. Keep the money going in rotation. That's how you do it. Because 9 times out of 10, if y'all rich, then he's rich. You get what I mean? Like if you make it, then they make it, and then they make it, and then you make it, and then you keep the money going the way around. Then you always have your own little circle of private people you could come to. That's how you build connections. You build your own team.
So you're kind of selfless.
Yes, I'm very selfless, I think. Yes.
That's good. That's hard to find in this world.
It is. I noticed that.
Because you see a lot of these big sort of YouTubers or Instagram guys, you know,
and they feel they don't have to. No, but that's where you get your best. Like even when I'm big, that's where you get your best people from. The people who are just starting. Like all of them, they started somewhere. Nikita Dragon ain't start like. She had little people too at the time, and then she became big. And now she can collaborate with the big ones, but don't ever forget to come back to the little people and collab with them too. You know, that's what I do all the time.
Yeah. That's great. I like to hear that. I think everybody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear about, you know, a guy that only cares about himself.
And that's how you really get the brand new talent, because it be the new little guys who be hungry and they be having different skills from other people, like a brand new skill. They be the best at what they do. You never find the talented people always around all those talented, you know, the really, really talented, they don't even come outside. Like you see like what's a good example? Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was the tip of the iceberg of who the real martial artist was. You feel me? It's Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee, the one who died, the one that's punched. You're like, he was the best, but he wasn't the best of his whole entire clique. You get what I mean?
Yeah,
so
the
that's
best
where you
ones,
usually
they're not
find the
gonna come on
talent
camera.
at. Like he could one of them right there. They're the best at what they do. I have this. Who is a perfect example? It's this show called Legendary right now. on TV. Me and my friends are like in some of the best vloggers in NYC, no cap. Me, Devo, Toya, Ade, who else? A couple of other people that really shake the room. Malaysia, stuff like that. And the people, we didn't even go on the show because we didn't even want to see them. You know what I mean? So they got the people who can kind of vogue up there. Like, well, not kind of vogue, they can vogue. I'm not even going to say that. But they're not the cream of the crop, you know, so boom.
So you on TikTok too?
Of course.
Yeah, what's your handle on there?
Oh, TikTok, Jelani Time. Everything is Jelani Time. Hashtag Jelani Time. Even my business, Jelani Time. Got a business.
What's your business again?
Jelani Time. Oh, but it's Jelani Time's clothing store at the time. It's the first thing I started that was easiest to get up off the ground at first.
Where can we find that?
Right on Shopify right now. It's just underwear though. That's it, because I was an underwear model before I started really getting out there mainstream.
Men's underwear?
Huh? Yeah.
Men's underwear? You don't sell women's underwear?
Not yet. I don't have any women models yet. Like, I'm working in the demographic I'm in, and then I'm gonna go over to women.
What is the demographic of your current audience right now?
My demographic is 60% men and 40% women.
Young,
like,
old?
Huh?
Young, old?
Both. Like, I have 16 to 23, 24 to 26, and a couple of, like a decent amount of 43 and older. Like, you know, not too bad.
Now you want to give a shout out to anybody?
Let me see. Shout outs to Jack Mizrahi. Shout outs to Tracy Lissette. Shout out to Amaya Scott. Who else? Shout outs to Luna Khan, because I just did a gig with her. Who else? That's about it. Shout outs to me, Jelani Mizrahi. Shout outs to Common Denominator.
I forgot to ask you this. How do you deal with the haters?
How do I deal with the
haters? Anytime
haters?
you become successful, you're going to have haters.
You don't. Never address a hater. Never. You don't need to. Let them talk and do their own thing, but if you give food to the fire, it will grow. You're not supposed to be thinking about them. You're supposed to be on to your next project. Now, when they personally attack your business, that's when it becomes a problem. But until then, keep it moving. You don't deal with them, please. Stop it.
Do I have your permission to put this on the internet?
Yes, you do. You have my permission to fully use my likeness and image for this place and time. That's a good disclaimer. And all that. Thank you, sir.